Hello everyone, this is Jotto and welcome to another set of spoilers for the Grand Tournament, also known as TGT. That's what we're going with. That's kind of what Blizzard actually said is their acronym. Although, I can't remember who, but someone made the joke on the last video, which was GVG TGT. Oh, if you say those back to back, it sounds really stupid. But anyway, the point is we have an acronym now. Even though it does remind me of Terran versus Terran, but whatever. So, now it's the weekend. I've got tons of content coming up. I've got this for Hearthstone, obviously, and then I also have a budget deck tech for Spellweaver coming up. So, yeah, I've got tons of stuff. So anyway, let's start with the 8 spoilers that have happened since my last spoiler video, which was 3 days ago. They're rapid firing these. Anyway, are they good? Are they bad? We shall see. First things first, we're going in reverse chronological order, because that's just the order they're in, going down in the news posts, obviously. Tournament Medic. 4 mana, 1/8. Okay, that's never a good start to a card. That's kind of like the 3 mana 1/4. That's just never, it's like the curse of the low attack creatures. Common, neutral, inspire, restore 2 health to your hero. Oh my god, you are not anti-Keelbot. You're just not. Oh, alright, we started on an atrocious one. Oh, I have no words for this. It's really bad. I don't even think this is arena playable. So, it's a worse Oasis Snapjaw, because 2 attack and 7 health is way better than 1 and 8. And the ability is close to useless. The ability, alright, it's not useless, but the point is it's not anti-Keelbot, which, like, you need to heal 5 times. It takes 10 mana and 5 turns to heal more than anti-Keelbot does. That is not worth it. It's not living for 5 turns. Bad at trading, bad ability, yeah. Moving on. Okay, so we got 4 more. This was released in a set. We also had the voted card coming out here, so we'll start with that one. The North Sea Kraken, 9 mana, 9/7. Common, neutral, battlecry, deal 4 damage. Interesting. Not a constructed card because Big Game Hunter. It's too slow, even with the abilities. Big Game Hunter's a thing, so yeah, no constructed. However, in Arena this could be interesting. I do like Arena sometimes, and I think maybe this format should be interesting because North Sea Kraken's one of those things where it might be a 9-drop that you can actually play. Also, 9-drop. That's a thing now on commons and rares and such. So yeah, North Sea Kraken is, I do believe, the first. Is it the first common for 9 mana? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yep, limited stopped at like 8 with Force Tank Max. So yeah, it's the it is in fact the biggest common in the game, tied with Force Tank Max, I guess, in terms of stat totals and abilities and such. However, the ability is a good one, and that's why I think it might be a one-of in Arena decks. If you see it, maybe pick it. I wouldn't pick it high. It's very, very, very slow. I wouldn't pick the second one ever because it's so slow. Like 9 mana is really slow, but that ability is pretty impressive. It's a neutral fire elemental. It's worse than fire elemental by a long shot. 3 mana more, and it dies to BGH. But still decent in Arena. King's Defender, warrior weapon, rare, 3 mana, 3/2, battlecry. For each minion with taunt you control, gain 1 durability. Hello, worst fiery war axe. Yep, you are not a fiery war axe. I'm noticing a trend here where it just seems to be every card that most cards they've spoiled so far just have not been constructed worthy. King's Defender is one of those things where it's a warrior weapon. It's good for Arena because Eaglehorn Bow type stats on weapons have always been fine, which is 3 mana 3/2, and sometimes it's a 3 mana 3/3 weapon. But the problem is that the most commonly played taunt for warriors is that stupid Pirate Dread Corsair, and that is played after you play your weapon, not before, which means that this will be a 3 mana 3/2 in 99% of situations and constructed. In Arena you might have a taunt and then you get some extra value, so in Arena it's decent because it's a weapon and it's fine. Constructed it's a worse axe, so yeah, moving on. Sacred Warrior. 4 mana, 3/5. Common for Priest. Whenever a character is healed, gain +2 attack. I like the design on this card. The reason I like the design on this card is because it is a card that works off your hero power without specifically saying so. It does work off your hero power, but it also works with other cards. And the other thing is it's a priest card that can work well independently of other cards. It doesn't need other cards to work well. For that reason, it's decent in Arena already. Constructed-wise, I don't think so. I mean, do they need a 3/5 for 4? Really? I don't know. Light Warden's ability has always been decent. It's never been a downfall of the card. Downfall of the card says 2 life. Light Warden's ability can get out of control. The problem with Sacred Warrior is, while it's on a bigger body, for a decent cost, I think it's fine in terms of stats. 4-drops are really good. You got some nice 4-drops that you can pick from. Notably, you've got Piloted Shredder, you even have Hungry Dragon if you're playing a Dragon deck, things like that. So, even the 3/5 for 4, I can never remember the name of, the Dragon. The one that gets buffed whenever you play Power Word Shield or something on it. Even things like that. There's 4-drops that it has to compete with in Priest. And it's just, I don't think it's quite there. Maybe it'll see some play, but I don't think it will. Again, another card that'll be good in Arena, but not in Constructed. We're on a roll so far. So yeah, Sacred Warrior, I don't think will hit Constructed. Legendary, Wilfred Fizzlebang. If you play your axes with this guy on the board, I hope there's an audio cue. There has to be one, I'm hoping so. But anyway, Wilfred Fizzlebang is a 6 mana 4/4 with cards you draw from your hero power cost 0. That is one hell of an ability. The problem with this guy, and this guy's getting an insane amount of hype. And before people get their pitchforks and such out, I actually don't think this card is very good. The reason for it is because, yes, you gain a bunch of mana if you get a Draxus or Mal'Ganis, and you gain 9 mana, and you get to play it for free, and it's amazing. On the flip side of things, you can get an Ancient Watcher, or a Sunfear Protector, or a Dark Bomb, or a Mortal Coil, or there's a lot of cheap stuff in Handlock, especially, and Demon Lock, so that's the flip side of things. But the reason I think this card is bad is actually, well, maybe not bad per se, but not very good, is because while the ability looks flashy, you got to keep in mind it requires 8 mana to pull off. You need to play this as a 6 mana 4/4, which we know from Gadget's End does not live a turn. So you have to play it on the same turn. Wilfred Fizzlebang, 6 mana, then you have to Hero Power Life Tap for 2. So you just spent 8 mana to do this combo, and if you don't get a powerful card off of that draw, you're in trouble. Because your opponent's going to play. Your opponent probably played Dr. Boom the previous turn, and now is playing Ragnaros, and you have no answer. So, it looks powerful, but I don't think it's very good. This reminds me a bit of some of the cards from GVG in particular, like Gazlo had a very, very flashy ability that never really went anywhere, or things like Trogzor never really went anywhere either. So, yeah, I think it fits in that category where it's just a bit too clunky, and I don't think it's actually playable. Alright, let's get down to what I think is the best card that has been spoiled in this particular batch. The Justicar Trueheart and his massive effect. Oh my god, this is the most complicated card in the entire game. So, what the Justicar Trueheart does is he is a 6 mana 6/3 legendary. Battle Cry, replace your hero power with a better one. That's hilarious wording, by the way. But anyway, so the best your hero powers are. For Druid, 2 armor, 2 attack. Generally, these double the effect. A couple exceptions, but generally these double. So 2 armor, 2 attack. 3 damage for the hero power and hunter. 2 damage for Fireball. 2 Silverhand recruits. 4 health healing. 2/2 weapon. You get to choose what totem you can summon. You don't lose life from life tap. And gain 4 armor. Now, I've talked a bit about this because I think, one, this is not an aggro card. Does not fit in aggro whatsoever. This is a control card. Not even, maybe mid-range for a bit of late game, depending on the deck you're playing. But this is a control card, fundamentally, because you need to get longer games to make it worth it. Something else. We need to narrow down the ones that are just bad upgrades. Like Totemic Slab. Choosing a totem is a decent effect. However, the problem is, late game you have all your totems anyway, so you basically choose regardless. So Shaman, not very good. The heal sounds amazing, but in reality isn't that good because against aggro decks you play a 6-3 for 6, so the healing isn't making up for much because they just killed it and attacked you. And with Okanai, it's okay, but that needs to be in the super late game against another mid-range or control deck, so I don't think the Priest is very good either. Hunter, not very good. Mage, I think, is good. The Mage one is good, but you also have the Fallen Hero to upgrade the Mage Hero power, so I'm not sure if that would be in the same deck, maybe, or what, but I think the Mage one's good. The Warrior one is good. 4 armor is a nice bonus. It's better than Heal because of Shield Slam. Soul Tap is useless. Losing 2 life, not a problem. So yeah, Soul Tap is useless. Dire Shapeshift, the Druid upgrade, is very powerful. You'd need to build a Druid deck that hero power is a bit more than it does nowadays, but the point is, it's more appealing to hero power when it does 2 damage and you gain 2 armor. So yeah, the Druid hero power is very powerful. And the Rogue one's okay. I think that might make your hero power a bit more spammable, which would be nice. And it upgrades your Deadly Poison Flurry combo to 4. It upgrades normal Flurry above Fan of Knives, things like that. And then there's the most powerful upgrade, in my opinion, the Silver Hand. Summon 2 Silver Hand recruits. Now, the reason this is insane, in my opinion, is because Paladin, you just play Justicar. If you play Justicar in the mid-game, in a Paladin mid-range deck, that is all the late game you need. Like, you just make 2 1/1s every single turn, and you have Quartermaster in your deck. So, now your 10 mana Quartermaster combo, which does come up when you go Muster, Hero Power Quartermaster, suddenly, that's 5 3/3s, not 4 3/3s. That is a Brawl on its own, or Hellfire, or something. They have to wipe that. It will kill them almost immediately if it gets to swing, and the 2 1/1s every single turn can help a lot with the quality, and the Paladin Hero Power is already one of the more underestimated ones, because the 1/1s actually do a lot, and having 2 each time is very powerful, but I think Justicar in a slower deck is very powerful, because you activate the hero power multiple times in that game because you're playing slower deck, the game's lost a bit longer. It's not very good in faster decks, and I think it's only good in the Druid, Mage, Warrior, Paladin, and Rogue, I think. Those are the ones I would have to pick, maybe Priest, but I doubt it. So those are the ones I'd have to pick if I want to pick what kind of heroes you'd be expecting to be playing with the Justicar Trueheart. So yeah. Best card spoiled out of this batch. So yeah, anyway, that was the article it was spoiled in. And 2 more. Garrison Commander, 2 mana, 2/3 epic, neutral. You can use a hero power twice on your turn. This is a permanent effect. The question is, how useful is this? Because it sounds useful, maybe in an Inspire deck. It could be very powerful in a late game Inspire deck, not as a 2-drop, but as a late game card. Kind of like Sun Fury Protector, where you play it late in the game, but if you need a 2-drop, you can play it. I think that's where it could be powerful. The other way this could be powerful is actually in Hunter. A lot of people didn't think about this, but you can play it on turn 2 if you want to as a 2-drop, and later in the game, it is a 4 damage top deck. Or it does 2 damage on its own, and because you can hero power twice. So maybe in Hunter as an aggro deck, but I think this will be in some sort of mid-rangey control Inspire deck. Maybe if there's an Inspire draw card, for instance. Probably in Mage or in Paladin or something like that. Last card. Silver Hand Regent. 3 mana, 3/3 neutral. With Inspire, summon a Silver Hand Recruit. Now, that effect is not Paladin specific, and it's a very powerful one. First of all, before I talk about the card, the art is atrocious. Just saying, the art quality on this card is really bad. I mean, we're not talking about Ooze Token level from Sludge Belcher, but it's really bad. So I'm hoping I don't have to look at this very often, because it just looks atrocious. Yeah, that's slightly zoomed in. Ugh. Anyway, but the point is, the effect is powerful. It's a 3 mana 3/3, and the turn after you can use your hero power and something else. Now, the funny thing about Silverhand Regent is it's supposed to be a neutral, but I actually think the class it's best in is Paladin. Because they have Quartermaster, and yeah, and they benefit the most from flooding the board. They also hero power quite a lot. So Silverhand Regent would be a 3-drop that you can play later in the game, and you can play it as a 5 mana basically 5 mana 5/5, where you get 2 1/1s and a 3/3, and that's decent. So I wouldn't underestimate the Silverhand Regent. I think in Arena, solid pick. I like some of these Inspire cards in Arena, because in Arena it's a lot more grindy and you have to activate your hero power a lot more than you would want to. But in Constructed, I think maybe Paladin. I don't really see the Silverhand Regent seeing that much play, but maybe Paladin. So, out of the 8 cards we saw today, my verdict is pretty much most of them are mediocre. I think the Justicar is good. A couple might see a little bit of play, but most of them are fairly mediocre. And that kind of adds to what we've seen in general. There's only been a few standout powerhouse cards, and that's about it. The rest of them are fairly mediocre. Which is expected because it's a 130 card set, which means that there's going to be, even if most of the cards are mediocre, there's still going to be enough constructed playables. So, anyway, that's my spoiler show for today. If you're interested in Spellweaver stuff, tune in later in the day, because I will be playing in the Asperia Cup, which is the first major tournament for Spellweaver. I'll also be doing a deck tech on a accidentally budget deck. It's kind of funny. We basically built a deck for... we built a deck that we were trying out, and then we realized it was super budget. The optimized version was super budget, so I'll be doing a deck tech on that probably either later this evening or tomorrow. So anyway, you can look out for that. But as for now, thank you for watching. If you like the content, please subscribe. If you have any feedback, just want to talk about some of the cards and yell at me with your opinions, then put it in the comment section below. But as for now, this has been Jotto, signing off.